presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
Tonight, the Twins' road trip continues with a weekend series against the Tigers and a chance for Minnesota to gain some ground on the division leaders in this three-game set. Two young guns will match up on the mound in Kyle Gibson and Drew Smyly. 26-year-old Gibson looking for his first road win since April, while 25-year-old Smyly just picked up his first home win as a starter this season. Good evening and welcome inside Comerica Park. I'm Jamie Hirsch. The Twins are coming off back-to-back convincing wins in Toronto, but have made a couple of roster changes since then. Josmiel Pinto was announced on Wednesday, has been optioned to AAA Rochester because Ron Gardenhire said simply, the young catcher needs to see more playing time and get more at bats. So Eric Fryer has been called up to serve as the backup catcher to Kurt Suzuki. In our Sanford Health injury report, Aaron Hicks was put on the 15-day disabled list with a right shoulder strain he suffered last Saturday, but another Twins center fielder, Sam Fuld, is back with the team after missing the last month or so with concussion-like symptoms. One other injury note, Brian Dozier is out of the lineup for the first time this season dealing with a stiff back, but he does hope to return tomorrow. That being said, here's the series set up for 3 games between the Twins and the Tigers. Minnesota has found some decent success at taming the Tigers in their own park. The Twins are 12-10 here at Comerica since 2012, despite their struggles overall the last couple of seasons. That includes a series win here earlier this season, and lately the Twins have picked up the pace on offense, averaging nearly 5 runs a game since May 29th, including a total of 15 home runs over that stretch. Kyle Gibson has had no problem at home, a trend that he continued with a solid outing in his last start against Houston on Saturday, tossing 7 shutout innings to earn his 5th win of the season. But while Gibson has had home sweet home for him, it's been a different story on the road. And Dick Bramer, Jack Morris, Gibson hoping to pick up some of that momentum that the Twins created up in Toronto.
Well, Jamie, no question about it. The Twins welcomed having an off day yesterday. They had played some traditionally tough teams, 20 games in 20 days. But now the challenge will be take the momentum that they gained from taking 2 out of 3 against one of those traditionally tough teams, the Toronto Blue Jays, and carry it through the off day into tonight's game.
Exactly, and playing the #1 team in your own division is always big. The Tigers are always a good, tough team. They've got the great pitching staff, but they're heading in a different direction than the Twins. The Twins played excellent baseball in Toronto, especially the last game with Phil Hughes on the mound. You've got the new guy in the lineup that seems to be able to hit out of bed, as Tim Lauder says, and this team is really gaining some momentum. I think there's a lot of optimism now in the dugout.
Well, the Tigers jumped into the regular season and played very good baseball right from the get-go, and it looked like it would be a runaway division championship for them, but they have come back to the pack substantially over the last 4 weeks.
And it really has a lot to do with their starting pitching. Justin Verlander isn't the same guy that won him a couple Cy Young awards, and other than last game for Max Scherzer, he's had a few hiccups. Rick Porcello not pitching as good as he did early in the year, but that's the human element of pitching, and you're going to have your ups and downs. Right now the Twins have a good chance of jumping into a team that might not be clicking on all cylinders.
Top to bottom in the American League Central, it is the tightest division in Major League Baseball, and the Twins hope to tighten it up even more in Detroit. Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox.
every Hatfield, a McCoy. Every Doyle Alexander, Gary Gaetti.
He's going for number 2. It's way back. It's out of here.
Every Miguel Cabrera, a Joe Mauer. Every rivalry needs epic battles.
Ground ball right side. Got to sneak through.
In order to finish first, somebody has to finish second. I hate second.
They win the American League Central.
As the Twins have drawn closer to the 500 mark, so have the Detroit Tigers. Now 6 games above the 500 mark, 4 games ahead of last place Minnesota. Or to put it another way, the Tigers have the worst first place record in the 6 divisions, and the Twins have the best last place record of the 6 divisions. So it's really been an interesting and congested American League Central race here so far. And again, the Twins are hoping to tighten things up even more. The Menards batting order for game 1. Danny Santana, followed by Kurt Suzuki. Brian Dozier not in the starting lineup, not available to pinch hit later tonight. Bauer, Willingham, and Morales. Arcia, Plouffe, Nunez, and Escobar.
They will be facing left-hander Drew Smyly. Smiley's making his 10th start and 13th appearance of the year for the Tigers. You can see his numbers there, 3-4 in the year with a 3.81 ERA.
Santana takes the first pitch over the outside corner for a strike. Santana's been a catalyst for the Twins in the leadoff spot. So much so, Jack, that I mean, it's interesting. He's playing out of position. He's trying to learn how to play center field in the big leagues, but he's hit so much and been such a factor in running the bases and scoring runs. Twins find it easy to put his name in the lineup every night.
You know, I look at Danny Santana and I say to myself, here's a guy that seems like he's been the leadoff hitter for a couple years, and he seems like he's that premier guy in the league. I mean, that's how comfortable he is, and just done a remarkable job so far.
Hitting .471 from this side of the plate, and he squirts another one foul, and he's done all that. He's made that type of impression with people on the basis of 86 big league at bats.
Especially for a young guy, he seems so comfortable, and the leadoff role seems to fit him perfectly.
And he strikes out, and it's been literally hit or miss for Santana. He now has 18 at bats from the right side of the plate, 8 hits and 8 strikeouts. Only twice has he put the ball in play and made an out from that side of the plate. Northland Ford defense for the Tigers. Don Kelly in left, Austin Jackson in center, and J.D. Martinez in right. Castellanos at third, Romine and Kinsler up the middle, Cabrera at first, and Alex Avila behind the plate. One down, and Kurt Suzuki the batter. Suzuki at .306, 10th in the American League in hitting, and he takes ball 1. Twins loading up with about as many right-handed batters as they can, because Smyly will give up hits to righties to the tune of a .300 opponent batting average, but very, very good against lefties.
Well, Joe Mauer in particular, he's really had his way with, but it's another day today, and we'll see what happens.
Nearly took his cap off, and Suzuki with a line single that nearly hit the pitcher.
Shooting it right back up the middle, and like you mentioned, Drew Smyly just instinctively trying to get out of the way. Fastball over the middle, and boom. Lucky that he did not get hit right there.
You ever take one up there above the shoulders?
Oh yeah, I've had a bunch of them that, you know, literally skim the top of my hat, but your head is the easiest thing to move. I guess that's the only way I can say it, and the only difference is you got to make sure you're watching. There's a lot of guys follow through and their head doesn't get up quick enough to react to the ball right back at them.
Here's Mauer, just 1 for 10 against Smyly, and he takes strike 1. Mauer coming off a 3-hit game. The Twins hope, and Joe hopes, that will be a harbinger of good times ahead.
Well, if he can get on a few times against Smyly, that will be a good indication, because like we mentioned, Smiley's had a pretty good run against Joe Mauer.
off the plate 1-1. Smiley this year has faced at 58 at bats against lefties. He's given up 8 hits, picked up 18 strikeouts. It computes to a 138 opponent batting average from the left side of the plate. So it's not just Joe Mauer. He's really tough against a lot of lefties. Mauer takes inside 2-1. Did a great job, as you look at those numbers, did a great job in Toronto striking first. In fact, 2 runs in the first inning of each of the first 3 all 3 ball games in Toronto. This one to center and picked off by Romine, out number 2. And in Wednesday's game, it was Willingham clubbing a 2-run home run in the first inning. He's been doing a lot of that since he came back to the Twins.
You'll see where he ranks in OBP. Home runs tied for 3rd, RBI 17, and that's all after missing a good month of baseball. So Josh has really been that guy for the Twins. I just hope it can continue.
And a strike at the knees. This newfound production that the Twins have found from the lineup really coming from unexpected sources. No one expected Willingham, a power hitter, to jump back in and hit like he'd been in the lineup all year long, and certainly no one expected Kendrys Morales to swing the bat like he was with the team all year long.
Yeah, I agree with that. Santana, Suzuki, Willingham, Morales, even Arcia, and Eduardo Escobar. All those guys have really been contributing, and I don't think a lot of people expected them to do as well as they have been.
1-1 to the Twins left fielder. Chopper to third. Castellanos has it, and he fires across to end the inning. Suzuki left aboard, no score after a half inning. Osmus new with the Tigers. Of course, he replaced Jim Leyland. Gene Lamont, the bench coach for Jim Leyland, serving in the same capacity for Brad Osmus. The Menard batting order for Detroit. Kinsler leading off. Austin Jackson batting second. A little bit of a different lineup. Torrey Hunter not playing tonight. Miguel Cabrera third. Victor Martinez fourth. J.D. Martinez, Don Kelly, Nick Castellanos, Alex Avila, and Andrew Romine.
The Mall of America scouting report on Kyle Gibson, who's making his 13th start for the Twins this season. Follow the leader. Do what our team leader and ace of the staff, Phil Hughes, has been doing. Pound the strike zone. I think it's important that he at least tries to move the feet of their power hitters. Cabrera and Martinez, Victor Martinez. Don't let them get too comfortable in the box, and With the breaking ball, make sure you don't leave it spinning over the middle of the plate. If you're going to throw the breaking ball, make sure it's off the plate and get ahead in the strike zone.
Kinsler hit leadoff a lot with the Texas Rangers, so he's not unfamiliar with this role. And Gibson starts him with a strike. Gibson hoping to make amends for arguably his worst start of 2014 here in Detroit against the Tigers.
Yeah, his shortest start of the year, too. 2 innings. He gave up 7 hits and 6 runs. Or excuse me, 7 hits on 6 runs and just 2 innings pitched. Gibby's aware of that, trust me, and he's going to try to redeem himself. It starts right here with the leadoff man.
And that pitch, not to belabor the point, we will try not to belabor the point. He had a home plate umpire that would not give him the knee-high strike, and if you're a sinker baller, you got to have that pitch. You got to have that pitch called.
Well, our good friend Joe West was behind the plate that day.
See, I tried. I tried.
I can trust me. I had the same issues 35 years ago with that man. Here's our umpires for tonight's game.
Brian Knight, the home plate umpire. 2-2. Gibson to Kinsler, and a chopper foul.
You know, the one thing you can say is he's consistent.
That could be both a compliment and a complaint. Austin Jackson in the on deck circle. High and tight, 3-2. Gibson has controlled the number of walks over his last few starts. He actually, in beating the Astros, walked 3 men. In his 3 prior starts to that start, he didn't walk anybody. Now a 3-2 pitch right away. Pitch tap foul. Seems to me, Jack, not that he needs a strikeout here, but his strikeout pitch is the changeup. The sinker gets the ground balls. The slider maybe can strike some people out, but if he feels like he needs to strike somebody out, it's the changeup that gets the swing and a miss.
Well, he doesn't have the overpowering fastball, and therefore the breaking ball doesn't look quite as tough to hit.
They're foul.
But for me, 8 pitches the first hitter, you'd kind of hope to get a 1 or 2 or 3 pitch ground ball right off the get-go. Trust me, I've walked the leadoff hitter a million times, but if you're going to follow the leader and if you're going to have a good quality game, you cannot be going 3-2. The Tigers are a very patient team and they love to work the count.
One put in play. That ball hit the edge of the grass. DePlouffe kind of skipped on it. Kinsler finally retired. Northland Ford defense. And the Twins have Josh Willingham in left, Danny Santana in center, Oswaldo Arcia in right, Plouffe and Nunez on the left side of the infield for the first time this year. We did not write Brian Dozier's name at second base. Mauer at first, Suzuki behind the plate, and Eduardo Escobar taking over at second base for Brian Dozier.
Last time Kyle Gibson faced Detroit here at Comerica, only one player, his catcher Kurt Suzuki, is playing the same position that he did in his first start.
1-0 to Austin Jackson. Dozier, by the way, attributed his stiffness in his lower back not to the collision with Eduardo Nunez, although he said that certainly didn't help. It was just 3 games, 3 days on that artificial turf in Toronto. And he said his back was actually tightening up before he collided with Nunez in short center field. Brian said the same thing happened to him last year. Coming off the turf, his lower back didn't react well to it, and that's when he missed some time because of a back problem last year. Another ground ball to Plouffe. He gets the first hop this time and throws to Mauer on a quicker second out. In tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game raises $6,500 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. The Twins organization is also getting involved in the Home Run Challenge, kicking in an additional $10,000 for each home run hit by the Twins this week and $1,000 for every strikeout by a Twins pitcher. 2 down, Cabrera up, bases empty. When the Twins were here about 5 weeks ago, Cabrera was not hitting like Cabrera. He is now. he's hitting the ball very well. You can see by the average.
And that's why I say this guy has got very few weaknesses. And the one thing you can maybe try to do is not make him feel as comfortable. Run that sinker down and in, make him dance a little bit once in a while. You've got to try to upset his focus if you can.
Down and away, 2-1. 16 pitches, 9 strikes for Gibson. Three and one with Victor Martinez on deck. Gibson faced the Tigers here on May 10th. First inning went fine, but then Gibson had an inning get completely away from him. And he's had a few of those, some crooked number innings, but a 6-run second inning was the end of the day for Kyle Gibson. Up the middle and the base hit. A 3-1 pitch grounded sharply up the middle, and the Tigers have a 2-out single.
Oh, as Victor Martinez walks to the plate and show him some of his numbers over this season. He's among the league leaders in a lot of categories, and he's a bona fide hitter. He can hit from either side of the plate. He's got power. He drives the ball. A smart hitter. He looks for pitches. Can't really say enough good about his ability to hit the baseball. It's going to be a tough challenge right now for Kyle Gibson to try to get that third out of this inning.
This was how it was all set up a few years ago when the Tigers put this team together to get Victor Martinez to hit behind. The ball hit to the left field corner. Foul, says third base umpire Manny Gonzalez. Gonzalez looking right down the line. And if it missed, it did not miss by much.
Well, the sun just peeked out down the left field line, which made it probably a little more difficult. Here we can see the replay.
Yep.
And it did splash a little black dirt, not white dirt. So that would be our indication that it was foul.
I like that.
Yeah, he
was looking at the replay like everybody else, and he looks up at the scoreboard control and says, "Hey,
I got it right. You don't have to come out and stall.
Thumbs up. I got it right." One strike. Now, I think there might have been a message in that gesture as well. I don't believe the scoreboard people are supposed to replay those things unless it's been officially challenged. I believe that's the case.
Well, maybe they already knew it was foul, and they were just trying to compliment the third base umpire.
There's why you're so popular here in Detroit. always covering for the Tiger employees. That's good.
No, he's not an employee of the Tigers, I hope.
No, the replay guy is.
Oh, the replay, yeah.
1-1 to Victor Martinez. That's grounded foul up the right field line. When I was working a couple of weeks ago with Roy Smalley, I misspoke. There's nothing new about that, but I was trying to explain the value of this guy, and I mistakenly said he was the best hitter on the Tiger team, when eventually the word I was looking for was the most indispensable. Because I don't think Cabrera would ever get pitched to unless he had an accomplished, competent, really good hitter hitting behind him, and he has that. So it's not just his numbers, it's a lot of Cabrera's numbers as well. Tapper up the right side. Escobar charges. 4 ground balls in the inning. 1 got into center field for a hit, but no harm done.
Big.
It's big.
Big. You know, it's big.
Large place, the biggest dugout.
Hate it.
It plays to my pitching ability.
It's big, and again, it's a lot of cement. Doesn't really feel like a baseball field should feel.
And not a great place to watch Miguel Cabrera walk up to the plate in, because he seems to kill that place. So, but a huge ballpark with a huge dugout.
Speaking of Comerica Park, Twins' second trip here this year. They took 2 out of 3 from the Tigers here earlier this year. Kendrys Morales takes ball 1 from Drew Smyly. All the things you said about Victor Martinez in some way could apply also to Kendrys Morales, couldn't it?
Yeah, they're very similar type guys. Morales is a professional hitter. He's a designated hitter primarily, and they both hit well from both sides of the plate.
Right center field. Drifting back is Jackson for the first out. That'll bring up Arcia. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light. And the Twins have done pretty well here against the Tigers, even though they have won division championships, have been to the World Series and all that. One thing I think, and it's just 5 games, but I think you could probably learn something or tell something from these numbers. When the Twins have lost to the Tigers this year, they've lost by scores of 10-6 and 9-3. When the Twins have beaten the Tigers, they've won by scores of 5-3, 2-1, 4-3. And the lesson there seems to be you're not going to be able to outslug them, so you'd better outpitch them.
Keep it close. The blowout games seem to favor the Tigers, and I think that's probably true with a lot of the Tigers' opponents.
2 strikes to Arcia.
That last little shot that we showed you the numbers, it's indicative that the Twins have played well against one division team and had a less than a .500 record against the rest, and yet all the American League seems to have a winning record against the American League East. The Central Division does.
Yeah.
So it's a well-balanced league right now, the Central Division.
Arcia lifts it high and deep to right center field. Jogging back is Martinez, and he makes the catch. Arcia, A, didn't hit it quite far enough, or B, he didn't pull it quite enough. 2 down. And owning Twins season tickets provides a guaranteed seat and a whole lot more. Season ticket holders receive a variety of experiences, benefits, and exclusive access, including All-Star Game ticket purchase priority. Best way to enjoy the All-Star summer is to join the Twins season ticket family. Find out more by calling 833-TWINS, and we'll see you at the All-Star Game. Strike 1 to Trevor Plouffe. Trevor not a big fan of this ballpark.
I think that's an understatement.
Not many right-handed batters are now. You can imagine how they felt about it before they put the bullpens in front of what used to be the left field fence here at Comerica Park. Just a 144 average with 3 home runs here. 2-1.
You know, the idea when they built this ballpark with the bullpens at the time, they were down the right field line, was to have a speedy outfield, a lot like the Cardinals had in the 80s with their speed and defense, and you know, it just wasn't fitted for the guys. And then they realized you had to be a man to hit it out and left. And we didn't have any of those, so let's bring it in. You know, help out the hitters, like Bird always says.
Everything's for the
anything
hitters.
For the hitters.
3-2 to Plouffe. Two gone here in the Twins' second. Fouled back.
The one thing I like about Comerica is, for a modern ballpark, they've still given ample foul territory from third base to first base all the way around home. You know, there's some, Camden Yards comes to mind, just hardly any foul territory. So every time there's a foul ball, Oakland being the best, Comerica kind of fits in with the old style park.
Well, pitch taken outside. Plouffe takes a walk. You know, it's hard to measure these things, at least with the naked eye. See how close this pitch was to the outside corner. be tempted to say, wouldn't you? There's about twice as much foul territory here as there is at target field.
Well, I think after third base, it goes in quicker.
Right.
And then is longer along the foul line in left field and in right field.
Basically, the green part here seems to be about where the foul territory is at target field. And then you got the long or deep warning track that maybe is the bonus foul territory in relation to target field. 1 strike to Nunez.
I think it's a fair ballpark. I really do. You've got right field where if you pull it down the right field line, you know, it's a chip shot. It's a poke to left. 345 down the left field line is a little above average. That's where it seems to have more room. The alleys are deep. Center field 420. I mean, there's some 410. But when managers and players describe a certain field as it seems like there's a lot of territory in the outfield, I don't quite get that, because you know it's still 90 degrees at home plate.
You going to Colorado?
I've been there. I'm not going on that trip.
Because we've been there. That's an expansive outfield, but that's because the fences are pushed so far back.
Well, it's also the mile-high city, so the ball carries so much better.
1 strike to Nunez. Twins trying to do something with a 2-out walk here in the second. Hit right at the shortstop, Romine, and he flips to second. That takes care of Booth at second base. No score after an inning and a half. But he pitched a scoreless first inning, and now he'll face J.D. Martinez, Don Kelly, Nick Castellanos. Brad Ausmus giving Rajay Davis and Torrey Hunter the day off in the outfield. J.D. Martinez, who's made a couple of pinch hitting appearances against the Twins, big, strong, right-handed power hitter. Swing and a miss, 1 strike.
Good pitch right there. Sinking fastball, got in on the hands of Martinez, J.D. Martinez, that is. He's kind of jumping on that first pitch there and really had no chance of hitting that sinker. There's Torrey Hunter and Rajay Davis.
Inside again, and got a foul ball, 0-2.
You see a hitter that has no chance at a ball inside there. You don't want to do him a favor now and throw a breaking ball that might hang over the plate. Pound him in there again, going a little bit further this time. See what happens. Maybe even move his feet so that you open up the out. They're going to go with the slider.
And missed the outside corner with it.
Well, he's well off the plate there. Obviously, Martinez is looking middle half in, but if he shows you that he can't handle it, you don't really need to do anything differently.
And another breaking pitch gets a strikeout, first out. Twins are hoping for different results from Gibson from when he was last on the mound here, and they're doing what they can to change the supporting cast. When the Twins were here on May 10th, Eduardo Nunez was in left, Aaron Hicks in center, Chris Parmelee in right. And you can see the infield. Everybody, with the exception of Kurt Suzuki, is either different or playing a different position. So if you're Gibson, you're standing on the mound, you're looking out. There's no resemblance at all to the last time you were on this mound.
But with that being said, you want to ignore that start anyway. And you're confident in this team and what it's been able to do here in the last couple weeks. It's playing really solid baseball.
1-1. Kelly taps it foul. Of course, when the Twins were here in May, Arcia and Willingham were on the disabled list. Fold wasn't with the team. Morales certainly wasn't with the team. Santana was up in an emergency situation. That's what we were saying. This is a different Twins team. And pop up left side. Plouffe should handle this. Out number 2. Time now for you to tweet a photo using hashtag NorthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. To the extent that this roster has a different look to it, I think, based on what you and I experienced, maybe the viewers did too, when the team was in Toronto, it's got a different feel to it.
No question about that. And they're really, when you watch a game pitched well like Phil Hughes pitched and all the good offense, you see the last pitch to Don Kelly, who, by the way, is hitting 1,000 coming in this at bat. You can see that he got it up, and Don Kelly kind of jammed himself there. You need a few breaks along the way, too. That was not his best fastball.
Tapper foul, 2 quick strikes to Castellanos. 10 pitches thrown for Gibson so far here in the second inning after throwing 22 in the first. Just missed the corner with a breaking pitch.
You got J.D. Martinez to swing at that pitch with 2 strikes, but right there Castellanos doing a good job of laying off that pitch. That's a tough one to lay off of. See if they go right back to it.
Sky to short center. Nunez out, Santana in, and Santana makes the catch. And it's a quicker 1-2-3 second inning for Kyle Gibson. Link, your link to what's next. By Northland Ford. Visit NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Given the cost of jerseys, no such thing as a throwaway jersey. We call that a throwback jersey. Torrey Hunter.
Same guy, same number. It's not catfish.
Eduardo Escobar takes a strike from Drew Smiley. I would think pretty good chance Escobar or Santana would put down a bunt here between Cabrera and Smiley. Down and in, 1-1.
Both pitchers so far seem to be under control, getting through the lineup that first time around.
Fouled away, now 1-2. Escobar, Santana, and Suzuki in the Twins third. That's it well to left field. Kelly going back, this to the wall, and it's gone! Eduardo Escobar with his second home run of the year, and the Twins take the first lead.
It looked like Smiley threw the breaking ball there that was off speed. Escobar looked like he was fooled a little bit out front, but he threw the bat head on the ball, and it really carried and shows how strong this little man is. That's his second home run of the year, both from the right side. Ball's up, kind of a hanging breaking ball. Man, they go a long way.
And the Twins lead 1-0, and now Danny Santana takes inside, ball one. Santana struck out his first time up. He figures to get a lot of playing time now in center field. Aaron Hicks back in the Twin Cities, and there's Santana acting as if he might bunt, taking ball two instead. Aaron Hicks had an MRI done of his right shoulder. No structural damage. It's a sprained shoulder. So he was put on the 15-day disabled list. And Santana takes a strike, 2-1.
I talked to Ron Gardenhire a little bit this afternoon, and he indicated that Sam Fuld will certainly get his chance to get back in center field. He'll try to get Danny Santana some reps at shortstop. But because Smiley's such a tough pitcher on left-handers, that Fuld will sit tonight. Danny will play center, and I think that'll continue in the next few weeks, where against left-handers, Fuld will probably have the day off.
Fouled, and it's 3-2. Santana struck out in the first, and it really is remarkable that he's had 18 at bats, has 8 hits, 8 strikeouts, and only twice has put the ball in play for an out. His BABIP is really hot, and he takes ball 4, and his speed now will be at first with nobody out. Time now for our lows never stop improving, and it's the Twins offense that continues to improve with different characters in the lineup. You can see from April 26th to May 25th, 25 games, 17 home runs, less than 3.5 runs per game, and fully a run more per game since May 26th. Got Jeff Jones, the pitching coach,
coming out. I wonder if they saw something that might have caused a concern with Smiley.
They, at least I was told, a quick trip to the mound by the pitching coach. So one of the things that they have been trying to get Smiley to not do, and that is nibble and just try to be more aggressive, and maybe they just sensed a little tentativeness from Smiley and the Santana at bat.
So you're equating a ball 4 with nibbling, which is which is probably a good idea. I mean, that's, hey, we are convinced after watching Phil Hughes run his 7th win out there the other night, throwing strikes is a pretty good game plan.
I know that for Smiley or anybody else, it's not a good idea to walk Danny Santana. And now Suzuki takes a ball.
Although Danny Santana really hasn't started what I think will potentially be another one of his great weapons, and that is stealing bases. He's been a little bit cautious there. He's trying to learn a little bit about getting reads from the pitcher. Now he's got a left-hander that he hasn't seen a lot of those.
He's 4 for 4 in stolen base attempts. But I think you're right. I think you don't have to use much of your imagination to see this guy being a 30 to 40 steal a year guy. Suzuki drives it to right, and Martinez with the catch. A hit ball for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Mauer. Mauer with a pop up to short. Soft short fly ball that Romine was able to gather in the outfield grass. Santana back to the bag. Mauer showed you in May when they were here, for whatever reason, has very powerfully hit here at Comerica Park. Because of the dimensions, you would think it would be a good ballpark for a left-handed batter who likes to hit to the opposite field and hit a lot of home runs, but he's almost hit as many home runs here as he has at Target Field.
Well, again, we talk about the alleys here that seem to be larger than some ballparks. A lot of room behind Austin Jackson in center field. And Joe seemed to have an ability to hit in the gaps at this ballpark.
One strike. There's a view from center field. The fence 420 feet from home plate. Fully 20 feet shorter than it was at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, but the left field is a full 60 feet further than it was down the left field line.
That's fouled away.
The porch that overhung in right field, I think, was about 280.
This is what we're talking about. 10 home runs hit here, which
it's a lot of home runs for one ballpark on the road.
The Twins are hoping that there's a home run or two in Joe's future here this weekend. Double here would be a welcome sight with Santana at first. And he takes low, 1-2. He's getting a home run from their number 9 batter, Eduardo Escobar.
Well, I mentioned that Joe had 3 hits in the last game in Toronto. And he hit the ball well in those 3 at-bats, 3 hits. Hopefully he's seeing the ball a little bit better.
Santana was shuffling towards second and had to scamper back.
So that stat there, he's 4 for 4 in steals. So what he's really doing is he wants to go through a career where he's never thrown out, and he's just picking his spots.
There you go.
Wouldn't that be a luxury that a player might have, to know that when you go, you're going to always make it?
Mauer with a flare over the glove of Castellanos. Santana advances to second. Not hit at all well, but Joe gets a base hit. Now first and second, 1 down for Willingham. Saturday, tomorrow, full day of MLB action. Twins taking on the Tigers on Fox Sports 1. Then Baseball Night in America on Fox as the Reds battle the Brewers. MLB doubleheader begins Saturday at 3 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1. Continues at 6 p.m. Central on Fox. You'll be working the Fox Sports 1 telecast tomorrow.
Eric Collins and yours truly, I get to work that game. I'm looking forward to it.
Josh Willingham hoping to add to the Twins' lead here. Get a ground ball to third his first time up. There is some wind blowing out towards left field, and and that might in some way have helped Escobar pull his ball just over the fence in left center. Willingham typically doesn't need much help. And he takes strike one.
Well, they're going to try to work Josh away on the outside corner and then throw the breaking ball on the back foot as a left-hander. No question Josh can leave any ballpark in left field.
Willingham coming into the game hitting .350 against left-handed pitching. And he takes a ball. Just 20 at bats, but a home run, 2 runs batted in, 7 hits and 20 at bats.
Good numbers with runners in scoring position right there. Josh has delivered a lot like Kurt Suzuki, who's been clutch with runners on. He can pick up a pretty easy RBI with a base hit. Danny Santana can run well.
Willingham takes a low, 2-1. It's not just the hits. I mean, I don't think anyone is expecting Willingham to hit over 300 only because he hasn't. So 256 career hitter, but he's also drawn an awful lot of walks, which is another way of showing that he's seeing the ball well. There goes Santana to third, and out at third base. And Joe Vavra and Santana both say we got to take a look at this.
Well, Gardy's going to come out, and here comes the stall again. He's going to wait for a signal from Paul Molinar, who is going to get relayed the play. Sean Harlan in the clubhouse, who's going to get to watch this. Here's our first look at it.
Safe.
And he looks safe there, and maybe Danny Santana knew for sure that his leg got in before he felt the tag, so they're going to review it. Appears to us that he was safe. It really changed the outlook here. Runners at first and third with 1 out versus 2 out with a runner on first.
You know, we've all seen this before, and I think baseball fans have rapidly become familiar with the process. There are 2 elements that we never see: the beginning and the end of the appeal process, of the challenge process. The beginning is somewhere in the bowels of these ballparks. Each team has a guy, so there are 30 of them, looking at the video replay before anybody else in New York does. So that's the beginning of the process, and then the end of the process is in New York itself, where the umpires are looking at the replay.
And up to 12 different angles they get to review, and sometimes that's why it takes so long. Umpires, I know, are not happy with the time process. They're kind of hoping that somewhere along the line the manager has to challenge quicker without maybe stalling. And you know, I mean, that defeats the whole purpose of getting it right, in my opinion. Then you're guessing manager against an umpire which one got it right versus taking the time to find out who got it right.
The only thing that I think would speed the process up, and I'm not recommending this by any means, safe at third is the call. The Twins win an appeal. It seems like they've been on an 0-for-7 drought. But the only thing that would speed things up, we'll take another look at it. And this, I think, is going to be a definitive angle. He's touched the bag there, and there's the tag. The only thing that would speed it up would be to give each team one more challenge. Then teams would, there would be more challenges, but they'd be quicker in coming out if they weren't limited to just the one. Would you agree with that?
No,
Willingham.
I don't think it would be any quicker, because the manager, as Josh Willingham takes ball forward to load him up, the manager is going out there not knowing for sure what the call is, whether it was in their favor or not. And he's got to somehow be creatively conversing with the umpire to buy time until he gets a signal from his guy in the dugout.
Well, here's Morales and a key at bat here. We're going to pick this discussion up later on, and I'm going to try harder to convince you of this.
Okay.
Morales with a fly ball to center. It's already leading 1-0, and they're newest addition to the roster, has a chance to be a difference maker here in the third inning. Strike on the outside corner. A lot of different people have been the Twins' designated hitter, and Morales figures to anchor that position most of the rest of the way.
Well, that's a big difference right there. In 2013, the fewest number of RBIs. Now they're the second.
Check this swing on Peel. Strike two, says first base umpire Jim Reynolds. Morales trying to dig his way out of an 0-2 hole. Two strikes to Morales with one away and the bases loaded. He got a piece. This Morales experience has confirmed for me something that I should have just accepted a long time ago. Tony Oliva knows hitting. After the press conference announcing Morales' signing, Tony told me Morales will be ready to hit in one day, maybe two.
Maybe Tony was throwing to him.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out here in a big spot, 2 down.
That was the 26th pitch of this inning for Drew Smiley. Gets a big strikeout, a big out right there. We'll see the pitch by pitch to Morales. First pitch fastball away, kind of caught the corner. Great pitcher's pitch. And that one looked like he held up first base. Umpire said no. He fouls one off down and in, and then throws it right back in there. That Morales swung over the top. So a lot of breaking balls. He hasn't seen too many of those, especially from the right side.
And now it's left to Arcia to really cash in here in the third inning. The Twins have taken the lead. Swing and a miss. Arcia almost hit one out in the second inning. He drove one just to the left of the 365-foot sign in right field, caught on the warning track by Martinez. Arcia came into the game with 5 for 20 against lefties with a home run and 4 runs batted in. 1-1.
As challenges go, the challenge by Ron Garter didn't hardly take any time at all. It was a minute 25 seconds.
Popped up short left. Romine under it. The Twins get one, but leave 3. The home run came from the number 9 batter, Eduardo Escobar, second of the year.
Escobar obviously making his presence felt at the plate and hoping to make his presence felt in the field as well. Filling in at second tonight for Brian Dozier, a place that he's only had a handful of starts in his entire career. So I asked him before the game what the biggest challenge is when you're moving over to the right side of the infield. And he said he is most nervous about turning a double play from that side. He said routine grounders will be fine, but he was out here today early trying to get that double play routine to feel more natural. And guys, I can imagine that home run might do something to boost his confidence. We'll see what he can do in the field tonight.
Thank you, Jamie. Twins leading 1-0. Alex Avila leading off the bottom of the third. And the sinker baller on the mound like Kyle Gibson, it's certainly possible, if not probable, that Escobar is going to find himself in a double play situation.
I think that's well put by Jamie and both. And Eduardo, I think that is going to be his toughest challenge. You're used to coming from the shortstop position and sliding that way. The ground ball itself, which he gobbles up right there, he's used to those, and he's got a shorter throw from second base.
4 ground ball outs already for Kyle Gibson. One gone quickly here in the third. And Austin Romine will hit. Every shortstop who's made that transition, Brian Dozier talked about it, you know, it's the toughest thing, as you said, about making that play. Dozier embraced it and warmed to the position so quickly. This figures to be, hopefully, just a short-term deal for Escobar. 1 strike. Gibson getting ahead of hitters, and he gets ahead of Romine, 0-2.
The best way I could describe it, and I did play shortstop a long time ago, is the shortstop's moving in towards the first baseman when he's turning a double play.
Feeble swing and a bat at bat for Romine, 2 down.
Good job, though, for Kyle Gibson.
Join the Twin season ticket family. Receive discounts on some of your purchases at Target Field. As a season ticket holder, you'll receive a 10% discount on concessions and merchandise while you're at the ballgame. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Find out how you can become a season ticket holder and start taking advantage of all the perks that come with that opportunity. A couple of quick outs here in the third. Back to the top of the order in Kinsler. 40th pitch to Kinsler is ball 1 to Kinsler, and 11 of the 40 so far have gone to Kinsler himself. He had that long at bat in the first inning before Gibson finally got him to ground out to Plouffe. 2-0.
Anyway, the shortstop's moving towards the first baseman. When he goes to second base to turn a double play, he's got to go away from the first baseman. The distance is the same. It's still 90 feet from second base to first base. But I think psychologically, knowing that you're getting a ball and having to go away initially to get to the bag, it's just a whole different look. Your back's to the first baseman when you're turning 2.
Wow, we're tracking it. Even this expansive foul territory can't hold that one. Well, and we all have peripheral vision. You know, you're focusing on the baseball as it's delivered to you, but as a shortstop, you can see the runner coming towards you, right, and how close he is.
You have
right.
all those things.
You have none of that at second base most of the time. There's a pitch just outside, 3-2. Jackson would hit next. Well, he will anyway, whether it's the end of the third inning or the top of the fourth or the beginning of the fourth. 3-2 to Kinsler with 2 gone in the third. Kinsler takes a walk with 2 down.
First walk of the day for Kyle Gibson. Looked like he tried to reach back and maybe throw it a little too hard. The ball was up in the zone. Kinsler not biting at all, so there will be a base runner here in the third.
Jackson with a bouncer to third, his first time up.
Austin Jackson came into this game 1 for 2 off Kyle lifetime.
Swinging a hot bat over the last week or so, and he takes strike 1. It's one of the things that's been puzzling about this Tiger skid. There's some guys in the lineup. Jackson, Cabrera, Martinez, swinging it about as good as they can. But if you don't pitch, before chased back to the bag.
Well, Brad Ausmus has kind of switched Austin Jackson around in the lineup. He's led off. He's gone all the way down in the lower part of the lineup. And today he's hitting in the 2-hole because Torrey Hunter's got the day off.
So I think a better throw. Kinsler was nearly out at first, but the ball also nearly got by Mauer. Chopper headed towards Nunez. He kicks it around and everybody's safe. And that'll get Cabrera up with 2 men on.
There's a reason for that play right there, and he saw the runner coming in his peripheral vision and he peeked, and that's one thing you just can't do. You got to keep focused on the ball. He knew how much time he had. He was thinking about flipping it over to Escobar to get the lead runner. Got to catch the ball first, kids, before you throw it.
Well, the Twins got 1 but left 3 on in their half of the third, and now Gibson hoping to get Cabrera, make the Tigers leave 2 on. Fielder's choice, error 6. Cabrera in front taps it foul.
It's just, I don't know. I guess I can say this because I understand it as a pitcher. You make your pitch, you get a ground ball, a routine ground ball to a shortstop, and you're out of an inning when the big boppers are coming up next. And all of a sudden, and it happens, it's a human element to the game. The guy makes an error. Now you've got to pitch to that big bopper. You had a chance to get out of a quick inning with 2 quick outs, and you walk the leadoff man. Find yourself in a hole right now, and he's got to pitch to get his team back in the dugout without a run being scored.
1-1. Cabrera with a sharp single up the middle with 2 outs in the first. Back to Gibson. Take care of it himself, flipping to Mauer. So the error and the walk don't do any damage, and the Twins still lead 1-0. By authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins LLC. Now, what I just read is called the disclaimer. It's been read in one way, shape, or form. Here's a deep drive to left center field, and Jackson will track it down on the edge of the track. Proof quickly retired. it has been read in some form or another for as long as I've been watching baseball. When I started in this business back in 1983, we decided we would have the players read the disclaimer just to mix it up, and then we would rotate them around. You know, one day it would be Herbeck, next day it would be Viola, you know. But the best was when Houston Jimenez, the shortstop the Twins had, when he would read that. That was good TV right there. Here's Eduardo Nunez.
Maybe we'll have to break that out of the archives and replay it sometime.
A little bit low to Eduardo Nunez, bounced to short his first time up.
There's one word in that I always get. I'm trying to figure out to this day. The seminary. Someday explain that one to me, would you?
Off the air. Well, because I
takes too long?
Sure. It's a legal term. Okay. Nunez tried to drop it down and bunted it foul. Well, he was trying to bunt up the third base way. Sometimes you'll see players bunt between the first base bag and the mound with the feeling that the left-handed pitcher kind of falls toward third base anyway. You don't have exactly the most mobile first baseman in Miguel Cabrera. The line foul, 2-2.
Well, if you can push it towards the second baseman, Kinsler in this instance, and get it by Smiley and have it dive somewhere to Cabrera's right in the grass, it can happen. Smiley is falling a little towards the third baseline. That's typical of all left-handers.
That's why I thought Escobar or Santana might try to bunt the third. Thankfully, Escobar did need a home run. Two and two with one gone in the fourth.
4 hits total in this game. It's been pretty much pitching so far.
This one chipped down the right field line. Martinez running after it. Nice running catch. I didn't think he was going to be able to get there, but he covered a lot of ground. Made a fine running catch for out number 2.
Oh, pretty big wingspan right there for JD Martinez. He did cover a lot of ground. That ball did hang up a little longer than I initially thought it was going to, but good effort right there by the Tigers right fielder.
Now Escobar, who homered off the roof of the bullpen area in left center. And he takes a strike at the knees. So many interesting stories on this Twins roster, and production coming from unlikely or unexpected sources. The ball to left center field, and trotting in makes the catch. It's Kelly. It's a 1-2-3 fourth inning with 3 outfield flies. this year. Martinez with 16 home runs and 16 strikeouts.
Blowing the rest of the baseball world away. But
no.
I think I might know that one, and I'm going to give viewers a little hint. It might have something to do with who holds the single season home run record.
Okay, I'm going to go back in history for my guess. I'm just going to guess Stan Musial. Musial finished with 470-some home runs, I believe. Didn't strike out all that much. We'll see. 1-0 to Victor Martinez. There's a strike 1-1. Gibson survived a bit of a speed bump in the third inning, gave up a 2-out walk, then had an error behind him, pitched around all of that to get a comebacker off the mound or off the bat of Cabrera. That's to left, and Willingham retreating and makes the catch one away.
Getting that first out, Kyle Gibson doing a good job of that so far.
You know, we've talked about Kevin Correa and how he needs to do a better job staying away from the big inning. And the same, I think, could be said for Kyle, because he's had some, a lot of 2-run innings, a 3-run inning, a 4-run inning, and the 6th spot he gave up to the Tigers. But within that is the idea that outside of those innings, he's really done well. I mean, despite those big innings, he's got an ERA of under 4 coming into the game today.
I just think Kyle is a student of pitching himself, and he's always paying attention to his teammates. And I think he's learning so much so fast at the big league level and gaining confidence every time out there. You know, you get through the third inning, especially with the half inning that he had to get through last half inning, and gets a comebacker from Miguel Cabrera right to him, gets out of the inning. He's pitching with a 1-run lead, and he's aware that, for now anyway, you've got to hold the team right there. That's his job. Keep it close. But I think he's really getting an idea and a feel for how to pitch these guys.
JD Martinez green-lighted on 3-0.
And I really believe a veteran catcher like Kurt Suzuki is doing a great job of helping him learn that.
Gibson coming into the game with 30 earned runs allowed. We mentioned 6 of them here in Detroit, but Twins fans may remember there was a misplay at second base where Danny Santana thought about shoveling the ball to second to get a force out. Fouled at the plate, and it's 3-2. Twins didn't get it out at second base that they should have. And before you knew it, before the Twins or Gibson could do anything about it, the Tigers had 6 runs. There was no error charged on the play. So he was charged with 6 runs, 6 earned runs, when he, in reality, I always hate this saying, but he pitched better than the numbers indicated in that outing. He should have gotten out of the outing, or out of the inning, with just a couple of runs allowed. Floof, that ball kicked off his glove, and it's Willingham that has to go to the warning track. Fan interference has been called, and Martinez will go and stay at second base.
Well, Trevor kind of let this ball play him. He was going to try to backhand it so he could come up and throw, but in reality he could probably got his body over in front of this ball a little bit better. We get to see the replay here. It's a high one hopper there, and he goes to his right, the third base side, his backhand side, kind of flips off his glove. I think he could have got his body in front of that ball and kept it in front of him. Maybe would allow Martinez to stay at first base.
Martinez at second, 1 down. And now Don Kelly. A little bit low, ball 1. Kelly popped up to Plouffe, his first time up. And now Suzuki to the mound. Maybe making sure they get signals squared with a runner at second.
Again, a veteran catcher understanding the situation. You got a base runner at second base. The guy that's hit Kyle Gibson fairly well, and Don Kelly at the plate, so they want to see if you get multiple signs, and of course that's what they've done. They probably changed the sequence. Instead of the first pitch, it might be the last one, it might be number 2.
Popped up down the left field line. Willingham with the catch, out number 2. And Suzuki's role has, believe it or not, expanded, one would think, with the demotion of Josmil Pinto and the addition now of Eric Fryer, who's a good defensive catcher. But I think the thought all along was, okay, this is how it's going to be in April, and then in May, and then in June. And by the time the Twins got into July, the thought was that Pinto would be gradually getting more of the workload. Well, in reality now, Suzuki's going to be the guy until Pinto shows some improvement behind the plate.
I think that's all attributed to the fact that they did not expect Kurt Suzuki to be as good as he's been and as durable. He's a tough guy. Got to be a catcher.
And so now the Twins have a true backup catcher in Eric Fryer. And with that, the onus, the responsibility gets heaped on the regular guy a little bit more.
Well, 2-0. It'll be interesting tomorrow. Sam Deduno, who Pinto basically was his caddy for, caught Sammy, and we'll see. There's Eric Fryer, the newest Twin. Whether he will become the battery mate, or excuse me, the pitching mate to the guy in his left, Sam Deduno.
2-0 and a swing and a miss by Castellanos. Gibson's had to pitch around some misfortune here. Error in the third inning and a misplay at third, sending Martinez to second base. 2-1. Came inside again and got a foul ball. 2-2.
That's just a good pitch right there. Kyle throwing his sinker, running in on the right-handed hitter and really just eating up Castellanos inside. He got a piece of it to stay alive. And this is the challenge for Kyle. He doesn't really have that put-away pitch. His slider can be a strikeout pitch if he gets him to chase. Changeup at times has been a strikeout pitch.
And slider gets him. Double is wasted by the Tigers. Martinez left at second base. Twins will have the top of their lineup coming up in the fifth. Leading the Tigers in the Dominican Republic. Players as young as 16 trained at the Twins Academy, chasing a major league dream. Many of them playing with a sense of desperation, their opportunity to rescue their family from poverty. The academy becomes a home away from home as they're housed, fed, and schooled in the game of baseball and the challenges they'll face when they get to this country. Tune in tonight after the postgame show for baseball in the Dominican. Twins Academy. This ball bunted in the air. Foul. One strike. That's coming up on Fox Sports North. Santana, Suzuki, and Mauer in the Twins' fifth.
There's your bunt attempt right there. And Danny really kind of lucky the ball went foul, because had it stayed fair, it wasn't far enough. Probably Drew Smiley, who we just found out is a birthday boy, a lot like Jose Reyes was when we were in Toronto. Today's starting pitcher. So a happy birthday to Drew Smiley.
Number 25. 1 strike to Santana. 2 strikes. I'm more locked in on the fact that it is Friday the 13th.
And it's a full moon,
and
right?
we have a full moon tonight.
Okay, tell me what that means.
Take nothing away from Drew Smiley. We wish him a very happy birthday, an L, but a very happy birthday. I'm not superstitious.
You're not?
No.
So then why are we talking about it?
I don't know. It's just a strange convergence.
The only thing I always think about when you say it's a full moon is not the Wolfman or any of that stuff. It's according to fishing lure, it's supposed to be a better day for fishing.
Okay.
And
look where you are.
I don't know if that's true or not, because
Santana hooks it foul down the line. Now, is that for all species? Because I've heard that for walleyes.
I believe it is.
Okay.
I believe it is. For whatever reason, the tug on the moon. Tides are high, of course. Full moon.
1 and 2. Santana rolls it foul. They're working him inside with breaking pitches. He has struck out a number of times on those. He has not put a ball in play yet tonight. He struck out in the first and walked out as far as third base in the third.
That's pretty clear that Smiley and Avila are trying to work the right-handers when they're ahead in the count, that back foot slider.
Castellanos gets the second hop and gets Santana by a step, 1 down.
Here's the slider, the last pitch that Smiley threw to Danny Santana. He wanted to go away. Smiley said, no, give me the breaking ball. Leaves it kind of over the middle of the plate. Danny got a good swing at it, but right at Castellanos.
Kurt Suzuki, a single in the first, a sharp single right past the pitcher's nose into center field. Then he hit the ball hard in the third, lining out to J.D. Martinez. I don't know how it being Friday the 13th and a full moon will impact the game tonight, but I do know that we've got a very congested American League and Major League season going here. We're in the middle of June, and in the American League there are 8 teams within 3 games of the 500 mark, and there are 6 more in the National League. Suzuki. Did he foul it, or did he just lose his footing?
I think he went off his foot, and I think he was trying to bail on that ball, knowing it was going to hit him in his foot. Here we get to see it again.
Right off the top of his foot, looked like. 2 strikes to Suzuki. 30 teams in Major League Baseball, and almost half of them are within 3 games, one way or the other, of the 500 mark, and the Twins are in that very large group.
Very interesting article in the USA Today about that fact. And of course, the commissioner thinks it's wonderful that everybody has a chance to be in a race. I think at least for half a season it's a great idea. Let's see how the second half plays out.
Suzuki, another foul off a foot. Well, when the Twins signed Kendrys Morales on Sunday, and the question was asked of Terry Ryan, why did you, what led up to this? And basically Terry's answer was, why not the Twins?
Why not us?
Well, beyond that, just in a general sense, you've got 14 teams within 3 games of the 500 mark. The ball hit up the middle and bobbled momentarily by Romine, but he gets control, and Suzuki grounds out for out number 2. We'll bring up Mauer to look at our Mountain Dew Kickstart fans of the game wearing their Joe Mauer jerseys, hoping that Mauer and the Twins can win this series. You can say, why not the Twins? You can also say, why not the White Sox? You can say, why not the Mariners? Teams that haven't been in the playoffs for a while, and they're right there. And sooner or later, there will be some separation. And that, I think, is one of the encouraging things about the Morales signing. The Twins are understanding shortcomings that they have and trying to address them. 1 strike to Mauer.
my personal hope for the Twins coming into this year that we would see improvement, that 90-loss season would disappear and you'd see baby steps towards a team that is improving. And so far, you almost get the feeling, especially after the series in Toronto, this is a team that, why not? Why can't they beat a team like the 91 Tigers and go from last to first?
91 Twins.
91 Twins, I mean, yes.
2-1. Tap foul, 2-2.
And then I'm always reminded, and I really have bought into this saying of Tom Kelly's, you're only as good as your pitcher tomorrow. And so with that in mind, I think the offense has really shown that they are as good as anybody on any given day. The question is, who's got the best pitching staff? Who's going to emerge with a starting staff that ultimately go to postseason?
3-2. Fox Tracks presented by Ram. Full count to Mauer, trying to extend the inning and give Willingham another chance with a man on base. Mauer dumped a single over the head of Castellanos his last time, and now a line shot hit right to him. A 1-2-3 top of the 5th inning. It's still 1-0 Minnesota. And he'll pitch to Alex Avila, Austin Romine, and Ian Kinsler. So far, so good for the Twins, who have won 3 close, low-scoring ball games with the Tigers, needing to keep this one close. And they've got a 1-0 lead. Avila with a bouncer to Escobar his first time up. Outside, ball 1. Royals jumped on Jose Quintana for 5 early runs. South side of Chicago.
That's another interesting aspect of this crazy race in the Central. On a daily basis, it seems like they're shuffling back and forth from 2nd to 4th.
Well, just, I mean, whatever combination you wanted to imagine, by the end of this weekend series, the American League Central could almost turn upside down.
Upside down, it could.
1-1. This one looped over the head of Nunez, and Avila has a base hit. Make a big turn and hold up there. So the Tigers, for the first time, get their leadoff man on here in the 5th. And remember, Twins home games, and there'll be some coming up next weekend against the White Sox. You can bring your Circle Me signs, and if you get circled, you might find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery winner's circle. You could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery. Dick Bramer joined on this road trip by Jack Morris, Bert Blyleven. I'm not sure about this. He might even be in Brazil watching the Netherlands team win today in the World Cup. Probably not, but
I'm guessing maybe
cheering for the Netherlands team. I'm sure.
Hitting about a 94 on the course today.
Oh my, bunts. Gibson sprawls and can't make the play. Intended to be a sacrifice. Instead, Romine will reach, and the 8 and 9 batters are aboard with nobody out.
Well, that ball, if it gets by Kyle Gibson, is going to be a base hit anyway, and he stretches out as far as he can, makes a great attempt to stop the ball, and then he just couldn't come up with it quick enough. And everybody's safe. I'm sure it'll go down as base hit.
Now Kinsler pops her to third and a walk. Gibson's got 9 ground ball double plays, and they do give him a single. 12 starts, 9 ground ball double plays, and he could sure use one here. Kinsler squares and takes ball 1.
I wonder if that was a bunt for a hit or a sac bunt attempt right there, but he certainly acted like he was going to drag bunt. Trying to catch Trevor Plouffe off guard. He's up on the grass. Joe Mauer playing close to the grass. Short and second, a double play depth.
And a bunt foul. Well, it makes sense for Kinsler here because there's nobody out. You've got Jackson, and take nothing away from Jackson.
And then Miggy and Victor.
Right. It's Miggy and Victor who are 2 and 3 behind Kinsler. If Kinsler succeeds here in sacrificing, almost certainly Cabrera is going to come up with men on base. Unless Jackson takes care of it before him. 1-1. Twins pitching the corners, and Kinsler bunts it to Gibson. Looks at third, but Plouffe wasn't there, and so the out is recorded at first.
He had plenty of time to get the lead runner there, but Trevor Plouffe himself took a couple steps in towards that pitch, or towards the ball, because he thought it could get by Kyle Gibson, so nobody occupying third base to get the force out. Kinsler gets the job done for the Tigers, moving the runners up.
And now Jackson, the tying run at third, go ahead run at second, and 1 out. So Ron Gardenhire pushing the infield back in the middle. And now they're bringing them in, at least Escobar in a few steps. Escobar retreats. Austin Jackson, the batter. Inside. Jackson with a bouncer to third. Needed another ground ball, this time to Nunez. Should have ended the inning. It didn't when Nunez didn't field the ball. Vila doesn't run particularly well, so the Twins playing where they are in the middle infield, depending on how hard the ball is hit. Side again, 2-0.
We talk about game management all the time for a pitcher, understanding what's at stake here. I'm not a super fan of strikeouts, but there are times, and this is one right here. If he could strike out Austin Jackson, 2 down to face Miggy.
2-0. Fouled away, 2-1.
Or that infield fly or somewhere close to that Avila, who doesn't run all that well, can advance. A ground ball maybe right at somebody. Third baseman, where again Avila has to hold his ground.
Missing inside, 3-1. Base is open. Cabrera is on deck.
The funny thing about Miguel Cabrera, who's on deck, is he doesn't hit into many double plays. It seems like with runners on, he rarely hits a ground ball. Normally you wouldn't worry too much with a walk here because you got the base open.
might have swung a ball for. 3-2 now. Jackson still strikeout prone, about once every 5 times up. He'll head back to the dugout without putting the ball in play. Gibson hoping to keep his options open for the Cabrera plate appearance by striking out Jackson. And now he'll have to pitch to Cabrera. Just missed the outside corner. And they're loaded up with one away. And here comes Rick Anderson.
That second walk of the game for Kyle Gibson. He's going to have to try to throw that sinker down and in to Miguel. Miguel can push that hands through with the best of them, shoot the ball to right field with the ball down and in, or he can turn on it. But Kyle Gibson, of course, will want the ground ball because Miguel doesn't run all that well. He's susceptible to that part of a double play.
In his career, we're going to show you where you need to pitch him. Down and away, like every other hitter in the world.
Well, that's imitates the strike zone there. Being a right-handed hitter,
right.
It'd be just the way you're looking at it right now with Miguel Cabrera. And you can see the best results are down and away.
Gibson got Cabrera with runners at first and second and 2 outs in the third. He got him to hit a comebacker. Ball 1.
Could probably show you another list of stats of what happens when you get behind Miguel Cabrera in the count. Or with the bases loaded, you can see that the young man has done okay in his career.
1-0. Bounce to third. Plouffe to second. Relay to first. Double play.
Beautiful.
Inning over. And the Twins' 1-0 lead is intact.
There's the double play. Well, the Reds shows the hot zones, the places you want to stay away from him. But that one on his hands, probably only in the 370 zone. And you can see that he just pulled his hands in, but he didn't try to shoot the ball to right. He got the ground ball right to Trevor Plouffe. And how about Eduardo Escobar? We talked about him playing second base and turning the double play being the biggest challenge that he sees. He has plenty of time to get Miguel Cabrera, but throws a perfect strike over to Joe Mauer to end the inning.
On to the 6th now, and Josh Willingham will lead it off for the Twins. Middle of the Twins lineup: Willingham, Morales, and Arcia. Willingham with a bouncer to third. He walked to fill the bases in the third. Twins had a great chance in the third inning with the bases loaded, 1 run already on the board, and then they didn't score, but a better chance for the Tigers in the bottom of the 5th. And it's still 1-0, ball 1 to Willingham.
Tom Kelly talks about it all the time. Get the boys right back in the dugout, take away the momentum. Well, sometimes I think it can work in reverse, where a pitcher makes a pitcher's pitch, gets a result like Kyle Gibson just got, and the offense has to pick him up, get him a run, get him a couple runs, give him a little breathing room out there, make him relax. Not every pitch being a game tying or a go ahead pitch.
1-1. Check swing, 2-1. Smiley's retired 8 men in a row since his walk of Willingham in the third. 90 pitches thrown. Speed pitch over for strike 2.
Well, Smiley's only given up 3 hits. 1 run, that solo home run by Eduardo Escobar. And yet his pitch count is to the point where this could be his last inning. Overall, you'd say, boy, he pitched a pretty good game. We got to reevaluate this pitch count, is what I'm trying to get at.
You too? 3-2.
Well, I don't know. You got somebody warming up in the Tigers bullpen. There's a pitch count by inning for Drew Smiley. You can see the third inning, the tough one, 28 pitches. Evan Reed is a right-hander that's warming up.
The center hit almost right at Jackson for the first out. That'll bring up Kendrys Morales. Minnesota plays just 10 home games in June, 18 on the road. Now on FoxSportsNorth.com, Tyler Mason asked Twins players how tough it is to play so many more road games during the stretch, especially since they played better at home. Twins have a .500 record on the road, and a little bit less than that at home. I guess the thing that sets this schedule apart, every year you're going to have a tough grind with a lot of road games, but it's really been tough and will continue to be tough for the Twins, is just the shortness of the homestands.
They're going through that stretch right now.
Twins started out with 2 homestands. First 2 homestands were each 3 teams long, roughly a week and a half each time. Well, that's atypical the other way. Morales wraps it through the hole to third, and he gets a base hit, his first hit of this night, and he's aboard with 1 out. But now the Twins have 3 homestands in a row that are 4, 5, and 4 games.
See that pitch way up, shoulder high, but Kendrys Morales just jumping all over that high fastball. A mistake pitch, I'm sure. I don't think Smiley was trying to run up the ladder there.
I'm telling you, Tony Oliva is right. He knows his hitting. He said it was just going to take a day or 2, and it took 1 day. Only because he wasn't in the lineup on Sunday.
Yeah, I still get a kick out of his press conference. I don't know, Kendrys Morales says. I don't know how long it's going to take. It might be a week, it might be 2. And after 1 day, he decides to have Bobby Cuellar call Ron Gardenhire up in his room and say he's ready to play. He wants to get in there. Can you help me out here?
1 strike to Arcia. And that last pitch, that was up. That's not the type of pitch a hitter with any kind of rust is going to be able to pull.
Well, you kind of hope he lays off that one.
Pulled foul, 2 strikes to Arcia. Deep fly to right in the second and a pop up to short in the third.
Arcia just one of 2 Twins players, the other one being Eduardo Nunez, that have not reached base here today.
Two strikes to Arcia. Twins trying to build on their 1-0 lead. Put away. Smiley is the 5th starter for the Tigers, and as such he kind of gets bumped around the rotation a little bit. There was a rain out in Chicago, so he got his start pushed back a couple of days. Max Scherzer was supposed to start the opener of this series tonight. Almost to second, should be 2. Kinsler Romine, and Arcia is out at first on a close play. And we're going to see if the Twins check on it. Here comes Ron Gardenhire out of the dugout. We might have the Twins' second challenge of the ball game. First base umpire is Jim Reynolds. The Tigers are staying on the field here.
This is the one that
this is what I'm saying.
This is the one I agree with you, because
this is the part that can be shortened, and Ron Gardenhire is going to abort his trip to the first base umpire, and so it is an inning-ending double play off the bat of Arcia. Miguel Cabrera a couple of times, yet he's put 5 zeros up there, and he's on some pretty good, with some pretty good company and a pretty impressive chart there.
Most starts with 5+ innings pitched, 0 to 1 runs allowed. Those boys on that list, they can pitch.
Victor Martinez will lead off the 6th, then J.D. Martinez and Don Kelly. Getting their run back in the 3rd inning on an Eduardo Escobar home run. Ball 1.
Well, every pitch is still critical. Kyle's pitching in a 1-0 game.
Fly ball deep center field. Santana going back. And he makes the catch about 400 feet from home plate. Yeah. Can you and I can we discuss the situation going to break? And I think we're on the same page on this. The whole process of challenging, and we give the length of time is from when the thumbs up is given and the challenge actually begins. But the manager's walking to the umpire, and then that part can be eliminated if you gave the dugouts one more challenge. They would just be more free to challenge something. There would be more challenges, but the downtime.
Well, I think in this case, if he had one more challenge and it had to be quick, he's going to say, I'm challenging it.
And you can signal
in which case
from the dugout.
It's going to take longer to get the Tigers into the dugout than it actually did. I don't know. I mean, I see your point. I see you can look at it that way.
The only part of it that can be compressed is the manager's trip out to the mound. And if you just gave a signal of some sort from the dugout, we are challenging, you'd only do that confident that if you lost the challenge,
you'd have another
one in the bank. And that's not ideal either. I know that. But if you're trying to shorten the time, that's the only part of it that you can shorten. I think.
I always thought that when this whole rule came down that
1-2 and a pitch inside to even the count.
If you could literally challenge every close call, there would be manipulating beyond Earl Weaver's greatest days.
2-2 to J.D. Martinez. Another one hit the Plouffe. This one fielded cleanly. 2 down. Well, Kyle Gibson on the good side of 90 pitches, and he's got 2 outs here in the 6th.
88 pitches now for Kyle, 54 of them being strikes. And we'll see his pitch count by inning. Toughest inning so far was the first. He allowed just 1 base hit in the first inning, but being very careful early on. He's kind of settled in a little bit.
Here's Don Kelly, pop up on a fly ball, both to the left side of the field. Strike 1. I think a lot of Twins fans, Jack, are ready for this team to be more competitive, win more ball games, maybe even be a factor in a playoff position, whether it's a division championship or a wild card. The most encouraging thing is the fact that they are pitching better. If this team reverts and pitches the way they did in April, it won't make any difference whether the Twins sign Kendrys Morales or anybody else. They need to pitch better than they have, and they have been doing that.
Yeah, they really have. There's no arguing that. Phil Hughes obviously leading the charge. That man right there is your pitching coach, Rick Anderson.
1-2 to Kelly, and now 2-2.
The thing about starters going into the 6th and 7th inning consistently is it gives the bullpen a daily routine that I think is important. Gardy knows it's important to be able to use his guys, mix and match where he wants to use them, give them the rest they need. It makes the bullpen better also. And the Twins have a very good bullpen, in my opinion. They've got one of the best closers in the game. Glenn Perkins, you know, he's a guy that Gardy can put a lot of faith into.
Driven to right center, hit well off the bat of Kelly, and catching it in the gap is Arcia. A 1-2-3 6 that's still 1-0 Twins. The only run of the game.
Eduardo Escobar hitting a hanging breaking ball and putting the Twins up 1-0. Kyle Gibson so far 6 shutout innings, or excuse me, 6 shutout innings. Big double play with Miguel Cabrera right there, the biggest turning point in the game for Kyle Gibson.
And Gibson going 6, Drew Smyly going 6, and now he's given way to Albuquerque. This is game number 63 for the Tigers and number 33 for Albuquerque.
Tigers have had their problems with the bullpen, including former Twin Joe Nathan at the back end of their bullpen, but you can See these numbers on the far right. ERA 30th, that's not good. Opponent's batting average 28th, that's not good. Home runs allowed, 9 innings worth of pitching, that's not good. So they've had their problems. If they're going to contend in this division and be the team that everybody expects them to be here in Michigan, they're going to have to tighten up that bullpen.
And looking at the 5 teams in the Central, with the possible exception of the Kansas City Royals, you'd have to say the Twins have the best bullpen in the division. The Tigers have really struggled. Nathan will tote, and we've been told he'll get into the game tonight. He'll come to the mound with an ERA of over 7. Here's Plouffe leading off the 7th against Albuquerque. There's ball 1. Plouffe, Nunez, and Escobar to hit for the Twins in the 7th. Chop to the right side. Kinsler plays for the second hop and throws to first, 1 down. Even with this very reputable Detroit starting rotation, Tigers have a relief pitcher that's pitched in more than half the games. Albuquerque. Jabba Chamberlain has pitched in almost half the games. Ian Kroll has pitched in more than half the ball games for Detroit.
There's their 1-2 punch. Verlander on the right, Scherzer sitting down.
Nunez takes a strike.
Max Scherzer just yesterday completed his first game at the big league level.
Professional level too.
Yeah, and that's why relief pitchers are used. I mean, rarely is there a complete game anymore.
Nunez hacks at it 0-2. Nunez with a bouncer to short and a fly to right. Another chop. Charged by Romine. And Nunez is called out, and I don't think that Ron Gardenhire is going to stay in the dugout for this one. I think Nunez beat it out, although he's heading back to the dugout.
Well, Scotty Alger, the first base coach, gave Ron Gardenhire the indication that he thought he was safe, but Nunez himself maybe didn't think so. Here's our first look at it. Close. Gardy's smiling, laughing as he comes out to talk to Jim Reynolds.
He's out because, as we've been told now, the out is considered a catch when the ball hits the back of the glove. And it looked like it got there before Nunez's foot got on the bag. 2 down.
Pretty darn good play there for shortstop Andrew Romine, barehanding that ball. Paul Mahler giving him the no, don't try it, Gardy. We're not going to win this one.
Looked like an emperor there. The Roman days.
Beheaded.
That's right. Thumbs down. 1-0 to Escobar. I think a lot of people have been surprised by Escobar's production. Escobar will tell you he's not. And I think some people have been waiting for that skid, you know, where the average is going to drop 20-30 points, and then he goes out in Toronto, has a 4-for-11 series, and he homers in his first at bat here tonight. 1-2.
I think that should be the new theme for the Twins. Why not us? Why not Escobar? Why not a whole year?
1-2. A nice ring to it. Let's see if the Twins can do well in this series and pitch inside, missing 2-2. Twins go to Boston. Good news there is that last time I checked, they're in the American League East. The Twins have done really well
against that.
They've done pretty well against the East.
Already won a series against the Red Sox.
Chip down the left field line, chased by Kelly. And a good play by Kelly, sliding on the warning track in foul territory. Nice inning for Albuquerque as the Twins go down 1-2-3 in the 7th. To find your nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's, where right now you can score a delicious, creamy McCafe iced coffee starting at just $1.59. Coming off a 1-2-3 inning, his second tonight, Kyle Gibson's out there in the 7th to face Nick Castellanos, Alex Avila, and Austin Romine. 39,811 the paid attendance here at Comerica. One strike to Castellanos. Now up high, 1-1.
Manager showing confidence in the right-hander, the young right-hander, Kyle Gibson, coming into this inning with 94 pitches, so he gets to at least start this half inning.
Swing and a miss, and we've seen that with that breaking pitch quite often here tonight. That slider's been really sharp tonight.
And I believe it all keys off that fastball. He's run in on the hands of Nick Castellanos a couple times, and he's aware that he has to protect inside, so that breaking ball on the outer half looks that much better. They're going to come right back in.
2-2. So does that set up the next pitch, a slider again?
Well, it sets up both sides is what it does. It's got him thinking, where's he going to go? Is he going to go away? He can't be looking in one area. And that's the beauty and the art of pitching, is not to allow the hitter to be comfortable.
Nunez will charge and throw to Mauer, who really jammed him, cost him his bat and the at-bat, one down. Before Avila comes to the plate, as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #NorthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. Attaboy Steve.
Yeah, nice Twins fan there.
I don't know that Detroit area has ever looked prettier. Look at this, a full ballpark with a colorful sunset sky.
Crazy sky. It's beautiful.
Fox Tracks presented by Carrier. Avila with one of the 4 Tiger hits. They have a double and 3 singles, but the double was a ball that caromed off the backhanded attempt by Trevor Plouffe back in the 4th inning.
The 100th pitch for Kyle. He seems to be on cruise control right now. He's starting to make some really good pitches. Got the bottom of the order here in Avila and Romine.
Avila's single got as far as third base in the 5th when the Tigers had the bases loaded, 1 out, and Miguel Cabrera at the plate. Gibson threw maybe the most impactful pitch of the night, jamming Cabrera and getting a 5-4-3 double play. 1-1.
Another really good sinker. That ball started what looked like to Alex Avila as a fastball, maybe knee high over the plate, just ran off the plate. Fox Track shows that it was a ball, but you're committed as a hitter. You can't hold back, and that ball appeared to him that it was going to be a strike.
2-2. Victor Martinez. The Tigers can solve either Kyle Gibson here in the 7th or whoever out of the bullpen in the 8th and 9th. 2-2. Outside, full count, Romine on deck. Gibson has walked 2 men and given up the 4 hits. There was an error behind him. Burton warming up.
He's pitched extremely well. Gardy's showing confidence in him. Trying to get through the 8th and maybe turn it over in a safe situation to Glenn Perkins.
Full count. Avila gets a piece of Suzuki.
That was a changeup right there that Kyle was able to throw in a 3-2 count. Again, those catchers just getting banged up. Foul tip there. Oh, right off the thigh.
With the left knee down in the dirt and the thigh exposed as it was. Suzuki patting Brian Knight on the leg. Thanks for the sympathy card. Ouch.
Here's the thing about Suzuki. I think he knows that there's a rhythm to pitching, and he upset that rhythm too much. Even on a foul tip, he's going to do his part to tough it out to keep Kyle Gibson's rhythm going.
Drive to right center. Santana hustling after it. Can't get the ball. It goes to the wall. Avila to second. And he's going to hold up there with a double. Santana, despite his speed, couldn't cut it off. And Avila's aboard with a one-out double.
Well, we'll see now if Ron Gardenhire is going to want to leave Kyle Gibson in the game to pitch to the go-ahead run. Fastball, which he had to throw there, got it right down the middle, and Avila made good contact. Danny Santana off on his horse. It's a pretty good route there. He ran right to the ball, but just a step short. And Avila's on second base. They're going to pinch run Rajay Davis for Alex Avila. So one of the fastest men on the team. And he will steal third base.
Yeah, thrown out trying to steal third base the other night in Chicago. The batter will be Romine. No, it'll be Torrey Hunter. Torrey Hunter is going to hit in the number 9 spot. Hunter's been scuffling at the plate. Romine had gone 1 for 2. Regular shortstop Suarez will come off the bench and play short, one would think. And basically, after the double, all 4 bench players will be spoken for here for Brad Ausmus.
Yeah, because Brian Holiday will have to come in and catch.
Hunter at the plate. Tying run at second, 1 away, and Gibson left out there to get the Twins off the field. And Gibson alerted of what you just said. This guy will steal third base if you let him, and he tried the inside move just to keep him close. High, ball 1. Veterans Hunter and Kinsler will at the very least have a chance to get this game tied up for the Tigers. Pulled to third, backhanded by Plouffe. 2 down.
Big out.
And now it'll be left to Kinsler. Kinsler had a long at bat in the first inning. Gibson got him on a ground ball to Plouffe. Ended up walking Kinsler in the third, and then Kinsler laid down a sacrifice in the 5th.
Just such a huge out here now for Kyle Gibson. This is going to be the end of his night. If he can get him out, he can walk off like a peacock, proud of what he did. Just hope that he can make some pitches here, get the third out, get in the dugout, and keep his team in a winning position here with one run lead.
Down and away, ball 1.
Started him out with a breaking ball, slider down and away.
Pulled to third. Plouffe has it. And now he'll throw to first and get the out there. I thought we were going to have a repeat of the Adrian Beltre play a couple of weeks ago.
Great job for Kyle Gibson.
7 shutout innings in Detroit. pitched out of trouble in a number of innings, including his last inning, the 7th, when Avila got the double. He got 2 accomplished professional hitters to bounce out to his third baseman to end the inning. Now, if the Twins are going to expand on a 1-0 lead, they'll have to do it either in the 8th inning against Jabba Chamberlain, or we anticipate Joe Nathan pitching the 9th.
Hats off to Kyle Gibson. I think that's one of his best performances of the year, because he was allowed to pitch out of tough situations, and Gardy just let him do it. A lot of managers take him out of the game with that hit that Alex Avila got in the 7th inning, and he allowed him to get through a jam, and he's going to learn from that.
Eugenio Suarez is doing most of the shortstopping these days for the Tigers, and you saw Holiday in the game behind the plate. It'll be Santana, Suzuki, and Mauer against Jabba Chamberlain. Chamberlain in his first year with the Tigers. Santana, of course, hasn't faced him. Suzuki's faced him a little bit. Mauer's only had 6 plate appearances against him. Chamberlain, Santana bunting in the air. That's an easy play for Chamberlain. 1 down. The bullpen issues for the Tigers aren't so much Chamberlain, although he gave up a big home run to David Ortiz a little less than a week ago. Well, Sunday night it was at Fenway Park. Or no, it was here at Comerica, I beg your pardon. But he was asked to close a ball game because Joe Nathan was temporarily taken out of that role. Nathan has not pitched in nearly a week, and he has really scuffled. Suzuki taking a strike. The home run that Ortiz hit against Chamberlain, the only one he's given up all year long, just happened to come in the 9th inning with 2 men on base. 1 strike to the Twins catcher. Chopper to short. Suzuki will be retired. If you want to give Kurt Suzuki some of the credit for what Kyle Gibson did here tonight, you won't get any argument from me.
Or me.
2 down. Now, Mauer's got some interesting history with Jabba Chamberlain. Faced him in 6 plate appearances, and Chamberlain retired Mauer in only 1, the very first one. Since getting Mauer out when Chamberlain was still a member of the Yankees, Chamberlain's given up a home run, a single, and 3 walks to Mauer. Outside ball 1.
An insurance run or 2 would really be comforting for the Twins right now. Right-hander Casey Fiend is up and throwing now in the Twins bullpen. Jared Burton sat down.
On the off day yesterday, I think Jack has allowed Ron Gardenhire to set up the bullpen the way he wanted, and it's apparent that Burton was going to be used only if Gibson needed some help getting through the 7th. Fiend has been the 8th inning guy. Perkins will get the 9th if the lead is still there. Chopped over the mound. Suarez digs it out, and it's a quick 1-2-3, top of the 8th. Thank you, Tom. And those are the guys waiting to face Casey Fiend. Cabrera will hit second. Jackson will lead things off, then Victor Martinez. Casey Fiend will come on and try to send the Tigers down scorelessly in the 8th.
Twins are going to shut out Detroit tonight. They're going to have to go through the heart of the lineup with Casey Fiend right here.
7 shutout innings for Gibson. In his last start, he pitched 7 shutout innings against Houston. Tack on a run in his last, a scoreless inning in his last inning against the Brewers, and that's carry the 3. 15 straight scoreless innings for Kyle Gibson. Here's Jackson, and Fiend misses low, ball 1.
Well, that is very encouraging for the Twins. His best outing on the road this year for sure.
2-0, and you never bought much into that anyway. I know in talking with you on our conference call, and you said as much in the pregame show as well.
Well, I think it's more coincidental than anything. The only thing that I think, he's faced really good teams on the road, and nowadays I don't know if there is a break.
Santana has a lot of room to run out in center. 1 down.
Big out right there for Casey, getting that leadoff man out. He will challenge the hitters. That's one thing we know about Casey Fiend. He will come at you. Now his biggest challenge is the next 2 outs.
Gibson's last 2 prior road starts. Well, let's go back to the 3rd one here, the ugly one where Tigers knocked him out after the 2nd inning, and then at San Francisco against the Giants, at Milwaukee against the Brewers. Cabrera takes ball 1. He's had good numbers against Fiend. They've faced each other 8 times, and Casey's only retired him 3 times. Foul back, 1-1.
Well, again, to remind the folks, Kyle Gibson's great outing. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, no runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. A season high 110 pitches, of which 66 were strikes.
Popped up, short right field. Garcia comes in to put it away, 2 down. And that'll bring up Martinez. Our Carsoup.com trivia question. I just pulled a name out of the
Stan
past.
the Man Musial. I picked Barry Bonds.
And it was DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio.
30 home runs, 13 strikeouts in 1941, the year of his hitting streak. The year Ted Williams last hit 400 in the big leagues. Well, I mean, he's the last guy to do it. It happened to be in 1941. 2 down, and here's Victor Martinez. A bouncer to second, a liner to left, and a fly to center.
So you're right in both aspects. He was not only the last man to do it, but it was the last time he did it.
I just didn't. I didn't choose my words.
You were right
accurately. 1 strike to Victor Martinez. Dean says he likes to get ahead of hitters, get the at bat over with in 3 pitches. And so that means then he's going to have to get Victor Martinez on this pitch. He's gotten 2 outs, says he likes to throw no more than 10 pitches in an inning, but that's probably true of every pitcher who's ever picked up a baseball.
I personally like to throw 3 pitches in an inning, but it never happened.
Now 2-1. Main thing is to get Martinez, even if you got to throw 12 more here.
Yeah. Yep, turn it over to Glenn Perkins in a save situation in the 9th. JD Martinez on deck.
2-1. Fiend to Victor Martinez. Now 2-2. Suzuki with a word or 2 for Fiend. Joe Nathan, he'll get the 9th inning. Told by Brad Ausmus he would be pitching tonight. Plate umpire Brian Knight's going to try to move things along. Apparently Suzuki had more than one or two words for Fiend.
Well, that was strictly a conversation about what do you want to throw this pitch, and if it's a ball, what do you want to throw on the next pitch. And apparently they had a little disagreement, so they had to talk about it.
Two and two. Struck him out. And Fiend gets the job done. Pitching through Jackson, Cabrera, and Martinez. And has a 1-2-3 8th inning. It's been a whale of a ball game. Quick ball game so far. 1-0 Twins. Josh Willingham will lead things off for the Twins against the beleaguered Joe Nathan.
Former Twin having his pretty tough go of it as of late. He's had a few days off because of that. ERA just not typical of Joe Nathan. So he's coming in here to try to iron things out.
He'll face the middle of the Twins lineup: Willingham, Morales, and Arcia. Treated rather rudely by the Tiger fans here a couple of times after blowing a save opportunity. 1-0. And they must be shocked, stunned to see Nathan struggle here, because in his time with the Rangers and his time with the Twins, he'd never missed a save opportunity against Detroit. Well, there was one of the reasons they sought him as a free agent or not, because maybe Dave Dombrowski would be the only one to answer that. But in his entire time with the Twins, he was perfect in save opportunities against the Tigers. 2-1, and same too with the Rangers. There's Dombrowski. Prayerful pose. 2-1 to Willingham. Tap left side, backhanded by Suarez. A high throw, and Willingham will reach. We'll see whether they rule hit or error, but the leadoff man is on in the ninth. See some of the struggles for Nathan. In his last 5 games, 10 earned runs over 3 1/3 innings.
There will be an error. Charge the shortstop Suarez.
walk-off loss in Oakland. Here's Morales. Sam Fuld in the game, running for Josh Willingham. Fuld just activated today. With Aaron Hicks going on the disabled list, we anticipate Fuld getting starting duty in center field perhaps as soon as tomorrow.
It'll be interesting to see where Sam Fuld plays the bottom half of this inning. Will he go to center field, or will he stay in Josh Willingham's position in left field?
Driven to deep center off the bat of Morales, and Jackson to the edge of the track makes the play. Morales stung that ball for the first out of the ninth. Let's get caught up.
If you're just joining us, this is the scoring the whole game. Eduardo Escobar, home run in the third inning to lead it off. And Kyle Gibson, just a great job as the starter here for the Twins tonight. 7 innings, a 5-hit ball, shutout ball, 3 strikeouts, 110 pitches. Just a great effort by Kyle Gibson.
Arcia has only faced Nathan once, and he hit a home run against him. Over the inside corner, strike 1. Arcia had a tough task facing Drew Smiley in his first 3 at bats. Smiley really stingy against left-handed batters. Arcia went 0 for 3, hit the ball hard one time, his first time driving one to the gap in right center. Down and away, 1-1. Glenn Perkins will likely get a chance to pick up his 17th save. Breaking ball over the inside corner, 1-2. Three Twins wins against Detroit this year have been by a total of 4 runs. And Fuld alertly scampers to second. He may have anticipated that pitch being in the dirt before it actually got to Holiday.
Well, good base running by Sam Fuld puts a runner in scoring position, and that is a big run at second base. To get that extra insurance run and to rule it a wild pitch.
Arcia with 13 runs batted in on the season in just 20 games. To pick one up here in the ninth. Tapper right side. Kinsler fires to first, and Fuld advances to third, 2 away. Twins got their run in the third inning. They had a chance to put up a bigger number, and the bases loaded with 1 out, but then Smiley struck out Morales and got Arcia to pop up. Fuld at third base is the first base runner they've had in scoring position since then, and he got on base because of an error. The Twins have not done much hitting. Plouffe can do here with a runner at third and 2 down. Plouffe 3 for 6 in his matchups against Nathan, and he takes strike 1. plate, 1-1.
Tigers playing Plouffe straight up, deep on the corners in the infield. Outfield playing him straight away.
One and two. Link to what's next tomorrow afternoon. Samuel DeDuno and Anibal Sanchez. Sanchez has been Detroit's most reliable starter this year. He just doesn't have much to show for it. He's been victimized more than anybody else by the bullpen collapses here in Detroit.
And a lot of decisions for Sanchez. And Sammy, we just, every time he takes the mound, we don't know if he's going to throw a no-hitter or how he's going to do.
Tomorrow's game on Fox Sports 1 and 2 to Trevor Plouffe. You
see the radar gun for Joe Nathan. His fastball reaching the low 90s. Used to be a high 90s guy. So a lot of pitches out of the bullpen.
Nice job by Holiday, smothering that pitch in the dirt with Fold at third.
Breaking ball in the dirt, and just gets his chest out. Make sure that if it doesn't hit his glove, that ball will stay out in front of him.
Count to Plouffe. Nunez on deck. Nathan will turn 40 years of age in November. Holiday going to the mound. The Tigers gave him a 2-year deal. Nathan succeeded. He did really well with the Texas Rangers, but they felt Joakim Soria was ready to resume closing duties for the Rangers. Pretty much let Nathan walk. And he walked to Detroit. 3-2 to Trevor Plouffe. Ball 4. And Nunez will have a fresh count and a chance. And Nathan hearing some boo birds after the 2-out walk. In the Dominican Republic, players as young as 16 train at the Twins Academy, chasing their major league dreams. The academy becomes a home away from home as they're housed, fed, and schooled in the game of baseball. Tune in tonight after the postgame show for baseball in the Dominican Twins Academy, only on Fox Sports North. Nunez hitless in the ball game. Talked so much about Nunez. He's had, coming into play today, 63 at bats and 10 runs batted in and 2 home runs. He's had a very productive short tenure with the Twins.
Very good batting average with runners in scoring position.
Tap foul. We've seen him so eagerly hit the ball to the opposite field with authority, drive in some runs. He tried to pull that pitch and tapped it foul. That ambush at Yankee Stadium. Nunez jumped on the first pitch and rifled a shot into the right field corner. One strike to the Twins shortstop. Side and it hit him. Plouffe will go to second. Nunez will go to first, and they're loaded up now for Escobar. Nunez still doubled over. I think I got him right in the breadbasket. Hope it's not the rib cage.
feeling it was worse than that. Get him right in the abdomen.
He's pointing to the abdomen area.
Or is that an oblique?
No, I think the obliques are, not that I ever had one. Dave Prumer can afford a chuckle as he comes away from the field. So Nathan has found himself in situations like this throughout his first weeks as a Tiger. Granted, they'd all be unearned runs if the Twins were to score here, but the Twins have a chance to bust the game open here with.
Well, that's just it. It's been a long half inning, and Joe Nathan again still struggling out there with his command. A base hit from Escobar. Maybe scored 2 or 3 depending on where it's hit. Pull this game wide open and give a little breathing room to Glenn Perkins.
Escobar's home run leading off the 3rd inning, the only run of this game. Now ball 1. And if this count mounts in Escobar's favor, the fans here are going to get a little restless.
Phil Koch is up and throwing in the Tiger bullpen. There's some moves. There's Koch.
20 pitches, 9 strikes from Joe Nathan. This is trying not to overreact to the situation here, but this is a critical appearance for Nathan. They pretty much shut him down for a week, trying to get him to.
Well, and Brad Ausmus still very concerned. I mean, they're still in this game. It's a 1-run game, so they need to come into their dugout unscathed.
2-1 to Escobar. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Have the bases loaded, didn't score in the 3rd. They are reloaded here in the 9th. Protecting the plate, Escobar flips it foul.
Joe Nathan has never been a particularly fast worker on the mound. He's been very deliberate even when things are going right, but in this situation the pace is really slowed down.
24th pitch coming. 2-2 to Escobar. And another foul.
Staying with the fastball.
Willingham out of the game. Full pinch man for him. He's at 3rd base. 2 outs, a walk to Plouffe, a hit batter. Another foul. Still 2-2.
7 pitch at bat so far for Eduardo Escobar. The deeper that goes, the better the advantage, I think, to the hitter. My reason for thinking that is you haven't got him out on 7 pitches. What makes you think you're going to get him out on the 8th?
Makes sense to me.
He won't throw the breaking ball, or hasn't yet. There it is.
And he got a piece of it. He threw one in the dirt, and that allowed Full to go from first to second.
Joe Nathan's curveball here. Starts out about belt high and breaks down. And off Escobar's foot.
A battle here. Escobar with 4 2-strike fouls. Strike fouls. Escobar has walked 10 times in 162 at bats. That said, Nathan just trying to throw strikes at this point. Doesn't want this count to go 3-2.
That's just it.
Ball 3.
Like Halladay gave him the sign to throw it up in the zone. He was maybe thinking that he could blow it by him or get him to pop it up. Nathan left it outside a little bit too much. Escobar didn't even alpha at that one. So
runners will leave early on the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. What a battle by Escobar. And the boos cascade onto Joe Nathan.
And that's it. Brad Ausmus is going to bring in the left-hander Phil Koch. Joe Nathan walks 2 of the last 3 and hits a guy.
That was one heck of a walk earned by Eduardo Escobar. 5 2-strike fouls. And he has driven in both runs with a home run and a walk. If you still need a gift for Dad, it's not too late, but it will be on Sunday. The MLB.com at-bat app and a subscription to its premium features on his smartphone or tablet are a perfect Father's Day surprise. Dad will have access to features like live look-ins, instant replay, live audio, free MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Visit twinsbaseball.com for more information. Glenn Perkins waits. How big will the lead be when he takes the mound in the bottom of the ninth? Phil Coke comes in to pitch to Danny Santana. Twins still have the bases loaded and 2 away. Santana hitless tonight. He drew a walk, tried to bunt his way aboard his last time up. Oak steps off the rubber. Strike one. Brought up a good point before with Fuld entering the game for Willingham. I would anticipate Fuld taking over in left field because otherwise Santana's got to play an unfamiliar position in the bottom of the ninth. Inside 1-1. He's just starting to feel comfortable out in center.
The only other option would be to put Nunez in left, who's played out in left, and let Santana play short, but I don't think that's going to happen either.
Might see Parmalee out in right field too rather than Arcia. We'll see how they play that. It might depend on what happens in this at bat. 1-1. Swing on a breaking ball and a tapper foul. 1-2. Santana with less than 100 at bats, but he's driven in 12. Chance to add to that total here in the ninth. Breaking ball got him. And for the second time tonight, the Twins have left the bases full. It won't matter if Glenn Perkins does his job in the bottom of the ninth. It is a 2-0 lead for Glenn Perkins as he will pitch to the Tigers in the bottom of the ninth inning. He will face J.D. Martinez, Don Kelly, Nick Castellanos. And Jack, how big of a run is that for any pitcher when you're trying to get the last 3 outs of a ball game to double the lead from 1 to 2.
It just allows you to be more aggressive. You know that one swing of the bat, a home run, will not tie the game. And now Glenn Perkins can do what he's done. It gives him some breathing room. Sam Fuld, by the way, will be playing left field. He's going to keep Danny Santana in center, and everybody else stays where they were.
Perkins has picked up a save in more than a week. His last save coming against the Brewers at home. J.D. Martinez, first man he'll face, and it's a first pitch strike. No moves for Brad Ausmus to make. He made his moves, his 4 moves available to him in the 7th inning.
All his extra men have been in the game,
which means veterans Hunter and Davis were already used in the 7th.
Hunter as a pinch hitter, and then Davis to pinch run for Hunter, both out of the game.
And now 2-1.
Story Hunter.
Fouled away, 2-2. Martinez on the night. A strikeout, a ground ball, and another ground ball. Plouffe tried to backhand. It kicked off the heel of his glove, it appeared, into foul territory and went for a double with 1 out in the 4th. Bounced her short. Nunez fires it over to Mauer, 1 away. That'll bring up Don Kelly.
Getting that first hitter. Close ball game, so important for the closer to get that first out.
Kelly's hit the ball in the air 3 times, caught all 3 times. Takes a first pitch strike, popped up to Plouffe, hit a fly ball to left and a fly ball to right. Slider away, 1-1. Two and 1. Perkins with 16 saves, tied for 3rd in the league with David Robertson. The AL leader in saves is Greg Holland with 19, and then former Tiger Fernando Rodney with the Mariners has 18. 2-2. Full count. Castellanos on deck.
Glenn Perkins and the Twins just 2 outs away from picking up a full game, bringing the Twins within 3 games of first place.
Pop foul and out of play.
Kansas City came into this game trailing Detroit by 2.5 games. Both Chicago and Cleveland with a 3.5 back.
Missed. Called 3rd strike. It is a called 3rd strike. Kelly is a strikeout victim, out number 2.
Home plate umpire Brian Knight took a little time to get with the spirit here, but he finally did.
It's Kelly's first at bat ever against Perkins, and now with 2 down, Castellanos will hit. Already 0 for 3 against Perkins. Missing inside, ball 1.
What that was right there is your catcher, a veteran catcher, and Kurt Suzuki recognizes that Castellanos had a tough time with the ball on the inner half today.
2-0.
So that's where he wants his pitcher Glenn Perkins to try to get ahead in the count. They jammed him. Struck him out in the 4th inning.
That's pulled down the line. It'll be a hit for Castellanos. It'll be an extra base hit. And that'll get Holiday, the catcher, to the plate with 2 away. Now, we talked about the importance of the second run. If it's a 1-run lead, I'm guessing Plouffe's guarding the line here, isn't he?
Oh, no question. I question whether or not he should have been a little closer to the line to begin with. That ball going to be a tough play right over the base, down the left field line. But now Trevor's going to move over a step or 2 and be more careful. Yeah, they're positioning him closer to the line as we speak.
First pitch popped up left center field. Santana's under it, and the Twins have won the opener 2-0 over the Tigers. They have beaten Detroit 4 times this year by a total of 6 runs. And that man, Eduardo Escobar, driving in both runs with a bases loaded walk on the 9th. And his home run in today's game raised a total of $6,500 for prostate cancer research. You can still make a donation. Go online to homeRunChallenge.org. And Tom Hanneman and the Twins hoping to maintain the momentum they earned in Toronto. So far, so good. A really nice win tonight at Comerica Park.